We continue with more developments here on Business Today. Now, it has been 5 months since the national minimum wage came into effect, with reports of some employers having fully implemented the government's directive, while some remain non-compliant. In the coming weeks, we will engage various trade unions representing different sectors of the labor force to give us an update on how the compliance level has been so far and what is to be done where compliance is lacking. Tonight in studio, I'm joined by Namibia Food and Allied Workers Union General Secretary Jacob Penda. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Yes, good evening and good evening, viewers.
I mean, just as we had is, 5 months since the implementation of this national minimum wage came into effect, just talk to us about the level of adherence, particularly in the sector that NAFAO represents.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me start when we, at the beginning of this year, specifically, we came on the news to share or to inform the Namibian workers, especially in our sectors, that the national minimum wage that has been agreed upon by all stakeholders will be implemented coming the 1st of January 2025. And we alert them so that they can able to know that coming that period end of January, no employees will earn less than $18 per hour, which is equivalent to 3,510 per month. So since then, some of the employers has been implemented the national minimum wage, especially in the retail sectors, whereby most of them has been implementing, but some of them they did not implement. And the NAFAO has been represent the wild sector, including the fishing industries and the tourism industry. However, the other industry, like the fishing companies, they have been their earning of employees has been more than the national minimum wage, but the challenge is on the retail and the tourism sector, especially our entrepreneurs. Then there we have a serious challenge in terms of implementing the national minimum wage.
Just in terms of the particular challenges in terms of compliance and the implementation of this directive, I'm just thinking about the widespread of non-compliance. What are some of those excuses given or provided by the employers, and how is NAFAO navigating around this or counteracting these excuses?
Yeah, the excuses, some of the employers, they saying it is costly, but they are not willing to open up their books so that we can see as a recognized union in some of this company. Because if the company is saying they have a challenge, then we need really to see to it what are the income of that particular employer. So now what we normally do to navigate the challenges is that we are busy compiling the report that we will share with the Ministry of Labor. And also we have been already informing the ministries that when the national minimum wage has been introduced, there were no measures in place to compel the employer to pay the minimum wage, or there were no penalties if they did not comply. What is the next step? But as a union, we may register cases, and those cases now probably out of 100 employer, then probably you have 30 or so, and the majority of them they are not comply with the national minimum wage, and this is the national things. It's not an NAFAO problem. So therefore, we have meeting with the Minister of Justice and Employment Relation. So we inform them on the issues or the problems that we have, so that at least the government can able to come up with the penalties or measures. Some of the company are given either contract by the government or given quotas or given, any resources that they are produced given by the government, but yet they are not willing to comply, especially our own entrepreneurs. Most of those retails, tourism, and the restaurant, they are not really willing to implement, including the retailers for the entrepreneurs. Majority of them, they are not implementing, but we are engaging the government to fast track to come up with the measures so that we can level or we can compel the employer to pay as per the national minimum wage. But the other challenge, when some of they introduce the national minimum wage, they pay $18 per hour. But what some of these employers do, they reduce the numbers of hours that employees are working. For example, they were working 8 hours a day. Now they pay $18, and then they reduce 8 hours to 4 to 5.5 hours. Then at the end of the month, previously before the introduction of this one, they were earning, for example, 2,500 or 2,700. Even now, when we introduce the national minimum wage, they pay $18, they reduce the hours, yet the employees are not earning that 3,500. And that is the problem that we are having. And this problem should be addressed collectively through the registration. I think what needs to be done is to regulate not to regulate, but to introduce the penalties for the non-compliance employer.
And hopefully those talks will be finalized soon. And I'm just wondering, as per your observation, especially in the most challenged sectors that you highlighted earlier, Mr. Penda, I'm just thinking, of course, of already in light of, the high rate of unemployment and poverty, as per your observation, how is this impacting these particular affected workers?
The national minimum wage, it was a good idea to introduce so that everyone can able to afford the basic need. But now, due to the tactic that now the employer came up with, to say, okay, let me introduce, then I reduce the hour of working, that does not solve the problem. And some of the employer, they saying we can introduce, then we reduce the workforce. And some, they try now to say, okay, the basic wages that we were paying, it is also including the overtime and the other benefit, which is contrary to the law. When you're paying the hourly rate does not including any other either statutory provision or a benefit. It is purely for the rate of the hourly wages. So, and that is now is an issue.
It seems like there's still workers who are receiving increments, salary increments, although it's still below the minimum wage, which begs the question as to whether our workers were well educated about what minimum wage is and their rights in regards to this particular directive. What has been your role in just raising awareness or educating workers in how to navigate through non-compliance by their employers?
Thank you for the question. It is not the first time today to come and share this information or educate the members through this platform and the other platforms, social media platform. We always, whenever we have meetings with workers within those who have been now been affected to this national minimum wage, we share information through our offices countrywide, and we share through the workers. We know we have a shop steward at most of the workplace, and we also invite employees that are not have joined the union we share information so that they can able to go to our office and they look for the assistance. The problem is that some of the employees are being either intimidated by their employer, knowingly that when the employees are joining the union, then the union will make sure that employers are comply with the statutory provision, and they wanted now to, to disadvantage the workers, then they maximize their own profit. So, and that also became a problem. We share information, but when employers are intimidating employees, they have been scared. And even some of them, they have been threatened to lose work. So with that, we need really to create an awareness as stakeholders, not only the union, because whether the union, we do our part, but also we need especially a union to partner with the government, because we try to level the field with the have and those that haven't. So in order for each and everyone to able to afford the basic needs or to feed their families. So, and thus we have been there, share information with the public, including the workers out there. And as we are still doing it, is a process of educating people, employees, that yes, there is a national minimum wage that needs to be paid to all Namibians, and that should not be less than 3,510 Namibian dollars per month.
I mean, and just the other thing as well, Mr. Penda, is the issue of, the accusations around the Labour Commissioner's office taking long, or rather causing delays in resolving labour disputes. Let's talk, just briefly talk to us about this particular issue. And of course, I do know the latest one, not particularly the latest, but the one that, caught my attention was the 100 workers, the Kavango Foods, who got dismissed as well. And I think you also raised dismay in the past months on how the Labour Commissioner has actually handled the situation.
Yeah, the delayment of cases at the Office of the Labour Commission is not a new thing that, for example, to saying it's for 2025. It's the matter that has come a long way. So, and we have been spoken about this. Currently, we have some cases that has been since 2017. Until today, it is there at the Office of the Labour Commissioner, and even those arbitrator and the conciliator, somehow we see to it that they are incompetent, and nothing is done to them. But who is suffering is the employees, those who are registered the cases. Currently now they are blaming the union that we are not doing anything. But when we register a case to the Office of the Labour Commissioner, that case is no longer in our hands. It is in the hands of the other house. So, and we are requesting, we are asking them always to, to faster the process, because workers are suffering. And we talk to each and everyone within the ministry, including the minister, the former minister and the current minister, when he given that responsibility to manage the Minister of Justice and Labour Relations. We have a meeting with him, including the Labour Commissioner. We share also some of the cases that has been took long. So, but yes, they promise to act, and some of the cases is just been, employer do things deliberately because they have means. For example, the OK Food at Rundu that you are referring to, these are the people, the employees that have been follow the proper procedure in terms of the negotiation, and in terms of the Labour Act. If employees and employers differ, they can follow the process to register the case with the Office of the Labour Commissioner. And then, if you did not agree, the Office of the Labour Commissioner can give the certificate of unresolved certificate, whereby now the workers will follow the process of voting, whether they vote for the strike or no strike. And if they vote for the strike, you set up the rules of the strike, then the strike commences. And all these are the processes that we has been followed. But due to the fact that the employer that want to scare the Namibian workers and they want to send a bad message out there so that the Namibian workers can no longer strike, he dismissed the people, the employees, those who were in the regular strike. And now that these cases is also take a long time. It has been postponed. And probably currently we are waiting to given the date, but these are the cases that have been taking long, and who suffer is the employees that have been dismissed because they follow the right procedure and yet they have been dismissed. What about if there are those did not follow the right procedure? And the law says if you did not follow the right procedure, is automatically a dismissal offense.
Yeah.
But you dismiss even those who are following the right procedure, and thus you allude that I was also on record to fast track these things so that the justice can prevail, because you cannot just dismiss people, even those who are following the right procedure, and you want to send that bad message or give a bad example to the Namibian nation, and that to us it is unacceptable.
Right. Well, Mr. Jacob Penda, unfortunately we run out of time, but we thank you so much for your time and information this evening.
No, thank you for having me.
All right. There was NAPAO's General Secretary, Jacob Penda, of course, just giving us an update, brief update on the implementation and adherence of the national minimum wage. Now, on Wednesday, we will bring you a similar update focusing on domestic workers as we focus on various trade unions to tell us what has been achieved as part of implementing the national minimum wage. From Ms. Yamandikwa and the rest of the team, it's good night.